Right. Right. All right, good day, guys. This is yet another video. Look, I was thinking the other day, and I was thinking about what we learned at primary school. I don't know. I think we also learned it in high school as well. The Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs, right? So I was actually baffled about what another young lady, spoke about this, right? Then I had a thought in mind, understand, since I teach value, system, and margins, understand? So I was like, how can I derive value from this, Because remember, on the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, how did they teach us? Understand? They say that we should focus on the physiological needs first, understand? And then we stack up, understand? Right? But when I looked at that, I was like, no, actually, that's the wrong way, understand? Because now, when you start with your um, physiological needs, understand, you operate on a formula of survival, which is not a very good thing, understand? Right? You operate on a formula of survival, right? For those who don't know what I'm talking about, guys, about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, let me just explain it in just simple terms, understand? But you can actually research this and see for yourself, right? Let me just do this and see it for yourself, understand, and actually see what does the Maslow's hierarchy of needs mean, right? So you may probably recall it, understand? So it's a diagram like this, okay? And then it has the physiological needs, then it has security needs, then it has community needs, then it has self-esteem needs, then it has self-actualization needs. Understand? Okay. This is what they taught us. This is what they taught us at school. They told us that we should focus on the Maslow's hierarchy of needs like this. They told us that you have to start here, right? On the physiological needs. Okay? They told us that focus here first, right? On the physiological needs. These are the steps, right? In order for you to reach your self-actualization. I will explain self-actualization just in a moment, understand? Right? But for most of you guys, you already know, understand? You already, have an idea of this, of what self-actualization is. But then if you don't get it, walk with me, okay? I'm actually explaining this because I'm trying to, to make you wake up that you realizing your value, you striving by all means to actually build that value and actually learn yourself. Understand? By learning yourself, you try by all means to reach a level in your life of self-fulfillment. Understand? Right? Before reaching that self-fulfillment, you reach self-actualization. Then you reach self-fulfillment. When you reach self-fulfillment, then you find your value. Understand? You find your value in life. Understand? Right? So this is what it is. Understand? But hear me out. Let's walk. Let's walk. Let me explain this to you. Okay? So the first step here is physiological needs. Understand? Then the second step is what we call safety and security needs. But let me just say security needs. Okay? So the second step is security needs. Okay? Okay? And then the third step is what we call love and belonging. Understand? But then let me just call it community needs. Understand? Let me just say community needs. Understand? We're changing this now. Okay? Okay. Just in a way for you guys just to understand this. Understand? So, Then it's what we call community needs. And then the second last one is what we call self-esteem needs. Understand? Maybe I can just call it esteem needs. All right. Okay. So the second last one is what we call esteem needs. Understand? It has to do with the confidence within yourself. Understand? And then the last one is what we call self-actualization. Understand? So it's what we call self-actualization. Is my self-actualization right? Actualization. But you get the gist, guys. Okay? So this is self-actualization needs. Okay? So let me explain this in just one example about what do I mean when I say physiological needs, security needs, community needs, esteem needs, and self-actualization needs. Understand? So let me use a different copy pen. Okay. Okay, let me use this one. Okay, so I'm trying to explain this. Understand? So that you do not take the wrong path in life, or maybe you do not think out of lack. Understand? Walk with me. Okay. So physiological needs, it has to do with probably shelter, food, water. Understand? The air that we breathe. Understand? So those are the needs that we need here. Understand? Let me just say, okay, this is food. Understand? That's what physiological needs mean. Understand? We need to think food. Each and every single time, we need to think food. Understand? That's what they told us here. Understand? And then the security needs, it's more like probably property. Understand? Or maybe health, your health. Understand? Right? That's what security needs mean here. All right? Let's just choose health. Okay? Let's just choose health. And then your community needs has to do with probably love, family, your girlfriends and boyfriends. Understand? So let us just put it here on community needs and say friends and family. All right? Let's just say friends and family, right? And then on the esteem needs, of which this one is my favorite one. Understand? Right? It's my favorite one because it has to do with what we call confidence. Confidence not in terms of ego. Understand? Confidence in terms of telling yourself that I am who I am. Understand? In a positive way. And I will get what I want. I will achieve what I want. I will accomplish what I want. Understand? So, walk with me. Walk with me. Confidence. Understand? And then self-actualization needs, it has to do with your what? It has to do with your destiny. It has to do with your purpose. It has to do with your creativity. And guess what? It's the last one in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Okay? So let's just say pebbles. You can maybe agree with me when I say this. Probably in your school also, they taught us the Maslow's hierarchy of needs like this. They said the most important one is this guy. And the second most important one is this guy. And so on. Understand? Right? But then that's where you get it wrong. Because now, through here, you're not going to be able to get your value. Understand? You're not going to be able to realize your value. This is where they told us to focus to. Understand? This is where they said, make sure that you focus on your physiological needs. And this is where a lot of things that are happening in your life, they want to keep you here. They want to keep you striving for food. Understand? Not realizing your full potential. All right? Walk with me. Let me do this. Okay. So, walk with me. Right? Okay, so what happens after this is that you, my friend, you need to change your thinking. Understand? Instead of focusing here, okay? Let's just do this. Instead of focusing here, right? And having an awareness here, you need to change the script. All right? You need to change the flipping script. Understand? Right? Change this and say, all right, you know what? I'll have an awareness here, right? Because obviously I need to survive. I should have an awareness that, hey, I need to eat. I should have an awareness that, hey, I need to keep myself warm and be in a sort of like a shelter. Understand? And then take this guy out and then put focus, right? You need to focus here, right, on your self-actualization in order for you to attain all of those. Why am I saying this? Mr. O, why are you saying this? Why are you saying this? Why are you saying this? I am saying this because when you focus your time, your effort, your energy on finding your purpose, of which I will explain one day on how to do that, understand? On finding your purpose, on finding your destiny. And when you have found your purpose, guess what? You found your value. Right? And when you find your value, you'll be able to focus your time, your effort, your energy in order to create something or focus on something, study something, whatever that you want to study. I like to make an example of accounting. I like to make an example of finance. Study financial management, study accounting, major in it because you have realized your creativity. You have realized your purpose. You move with that. You focus with that. You will find your self-esteem because now there's something that you love. Remember on my last video, we spoke about what? We spoke about curiosity, right? We spoke about skill. We spoke about discipline. When you will find something that you're curious about, of which should be part of your purpose, understand? You will gain a form of confidence in yourself because now you are moving with purpose. Understand? You are moving with something that you're sure about that, hey, no matter what, I know what I want, and no matter what, if anyone can just stop me anyway, anyhow, I can be able to just put my 2 cents and say what I want and say what I understand with this thing that I have there, this thing that I know about, this thing that I call my purpose. Understand? Even though you're growing, even though you're curious, you're understanding, you want to understand, you're asking those questions that I told about. The what, the why, the when. Understand? You are moving with that character in you. Understand? So, when that confidence, you have that confidence, you are able to have a community of yourself. And when you have a community of yourself, you are able to strive. Because honestly, that's networking. You are able to be a valuable member in your friends, in your family. Understand? And then when that happens, understand, now you start to change as a person. Understand? there's something that will happen in your life, right? Low stress, because now you know where you're going. Understand? Your health will start to be better. And when you're working on something that you love, and you have confidence in it, and you have a community that helps you to get there, and your health is good, do you think your physiological needs will be a problem? You think so? Do you think shelter will be a problem? Do you think food will be a problem? Flip no. I don't think so. So my friend, this video is teaching you that in order for you to find your value, in order for you to find what you love, in order for you to find what you adore in life, you must twist the script. Twist the script on what they taught you, that focus on your physical needs, on your physiological needs. Understand? Just flip the script and rather shift your focus here and have an awareness on your physiological needs. Understand? And focus on what? On your self-actualization needs. Because that's where the spark starts. Right? Man, you're destined for something great. Find your value and make sure that you become the person that you have to become. Right? For me, only two. Catch me on my next video when I talk deeper and deeper about value. All right, man. Peace out.